So I'm back and I'm talking about money again. All of these goals have one common bottom line, and that is putting yourself on the path for financial independence and abundance and just a better financial mindset overall. So the first one is to build and focus on an emergency fund. And I have stressed the importance of an emergency fund across all of my social media. I think an emergency fund is an absolute necessity. Covering yourself for, a minimum period of time in case anything goes wrong cannot be emphasized any more than the current environment and everything that's happened. It was completely unpredictable and it affected so many people. And a lot of us in our 20s will be, getting new jobs and leaving, the comfort of student life without ever having to have even considered the need for an emergency fund. So that's why I think it's really important to start putting the building blocks in place as early as you can and starting as early as you can, so that you have the freedom to then make investments, start saving money, start making designer purchases, whatever it is that you want, without sacrificing the comfort of a rainy day fund. The second goal is to really work on getting comfortable talking about money. I think talking about money is still so taboo in certain situations with certain people. Getting comfortable with talking about money with your family, with your partner, with your friends, it being a really normal thing to talk about can open up so many conversations and help you learn so much more and allow you to just make better decisions and improve your mindset about money to, an infinity level. I think open conversations about a lot of things are necessary, but one of the most important ones is about personal finance. The third goal is to start building assets or a positive net worth. And I don't want to kind of use too much inaccessible language here. This is basically just another goal to start putting away the building blocks to help you be in a better position in 5, 10, 20 years time. For me, this has meant, tallying up all the credit card debt I have, all the other debt that I have, including things that you're splitting 0 interest payments on, tallying all that up and making sure that you're working towards a point where your worth isn't negative. And it pains me to actually say that, my worth is negative on, other different spiritual levels. But right now, if I actually tally up the numbers, it's not looking that great. So that's one of my goals, is to start building that positive net worth and growing that. It doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands of pounds or millions of pounds, just making sure that number is green. The fourth goal, and I think this is such an important goal, is to start building sinking funds for anything that you regularly buy, things that you normally have to pay for throughout the year, like insurance, anything else that you pay annually. And also having sinking funds for your leisurely spending, like shopping and holidays and things, and basically reversing the effect of having to use a credit card. So the more sinking funds you have, or even if you have one account with a huge sinking fund in it, the less you'll ever have to rely on a credit card. You'll be able to pull from that sinking fund and not have to suddenly dive really deep into credit card debt. This also involves, changing your mindset about debt and making sure that choosing not to take payments out on something is an intentional decision and a habit, rather than the opposite way around of, sticking something on a credit card and then just paying that off slowly throughout the year. The fifth one is to start diversifying and creating more streams of income. These could be really small and really low effort, really low time investment. There are so many videos out on YouTube on, like 10 side hustle ideas for 2021. But start building that mindset of, I'm going to bring more in rather than cut what I have. Because a lot of the times, if you are like financially savvy, knowledgeable, you probably have cut down your expenses to the bare minimum and you are controlling your spending, and there's not much more you can do in the expenses category of your spending. So changing your mindset into what more can I build, what more can I grow, and how much more can I bring in is going to transform your finances and your mindset and your attitude to money in 2021. This also involves, working on your inner critic, especially if you want to take a side hustle that you've maybe thought about for a really long time live. And a couple of journal prompts that I want to drop into this video that helped me are basically, what's the idea? What is something I've been thinking about and I really want to do? Secondly, what do I need to do to get it off the ground and take it live? And thirdly, why haven't I taken it live yet? What's stopping me? What are the factors that are holding me back? And fourthly and finally, and most importantly, how can this idea change my life? Now, these prompts will really make you think about your why you want to do those things, and also hopefully give you a bit more intrinsic motivation to take those things ahead, get the ball rolling, and create more streams of income in the future. The sixth goal is to create a budget and actually stick to it. And of course, this is probably one of the most common New Year's resolutions or whatever. I think it's a really important goal to not only make, but consistently hit throughout your life, no matter how much money you have. Budgeting is basically knowing where your money is, where it's going, what it does. It's basically like you being a controlling parent and your money being, a very rebellious child. Keeping accountable to this. So book out an hour in your calendar every month and make sure in that hour you're organizing your previous month's spending and getting a vague plan for the next month. It does not need to be dollar by dollar, really strict. You don't need to control how much you're spending. Just track what you are doing and maybe make a few changes if what you are doing isn't in line with your financial goals. The seventh goal is to get your head out of the sand, collect together all your bills, your insurance policies, your pay slips, everything that's related to your finances, your financial life, your home, your food, anything. Basically, make a folder and stick it in the folder, organize it, and keep that folder safe. This could be like a digital folder as well. In the same way that budgeting and knowing where your money is and what it's doing helps you make decisions in the future, organizing your information, documentation also helps that. It will also help your budget. It will also help you remember, dates that renewals are coming out, how much you paid last year, contract information, really important things that you should be holding on to and should be aware of all the time. The eighth goal is to use my absolute favorite 5 funds system and start paying yourself first every month instead of saving your money the last thing that you're doing at the end of every month. And I spoke about this more in my video where I spoke about how to actually save money every month, and it was basically talking about paying yourself first. And the system that I use, which is a 5 fund system, is the 60-10-10-10 method. And it's that basically at the beginning of every month, my money in those proportions gets transferred into the relevant account. 60% my living and necessary expenses, like my mortgage, insurance, bills, things like that. And then the 4 10s are things like sinking funds, emergency funds, investments, and just, fun money. So set a system up, open the accounts if you need to, and start transferring money into your savings account before you even spend money during the month. The 9th tip is to get over the fear of investing. Get over it. Just do it. Get the ball rolling. I have a video covering the absolute basics you need to know and get comfortable with soon, so stay tuned for that one. But realistically, if you're just saving your money in low interest or a low yield savings account, you're basically losing money because of the deflation of the value of money over time. If you're not investing your money, you're losing money in the long run. So get comfortable with investing, find out all you need to know, watch all the YouTube videos that you need to, because there are a lot out there. It just takes a little bit of time each week. You don't have to do it right this minute, but try and get the ball rolling soon, as early as you can, because compound interest needs that time. It needs the little time to do its magic and reward you with money. And the 10th one is a surprise one, which I've only really started implementing this year, and it's to start negotiating and get comfortable with negotiating and bartering on the phone, in person, in every aspect of your financial life. I think this is really overlooked because once you take out a Wi-Fi contract or insurance or anything like that, you kind of just assume the price you're paying is the final price. It seems a lot more official than arguing over apples at farmer's market. But you can call these companies up and negotiate better interest rates and better monthly payments over time, especially if you're a renewal customer. And I basically just highly recommend you do not accept prices as they are, and always try and just kind of push back on them a little bit. There's a lot of content on negotiation skills as well, and it's safe to say negotiation skills will reward you in other aspects of your life as well, like negotiating a higher salary and also, you know, actually negotiating, you know, more apples to the farmers market. So this video is kind of like a combination of things that I have learned this year and things that would make really good goals for other people in their 20s who have just started working and want to feel a bit more confident financially. Let me know if you're going to take yourself up on any of these goals in the new year. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.